Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? Scorching hot as per I shouldn't say as per usual. It's not really a usual thing, I think, for the UK to be so hot, but it is certainly right now. Yeah, I don't know what I was going to talk about. I don't even know if I have anything to particularly talk about. Just sort of vibing out as per usual. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think if I had a conversation, but I didn't there, so sorry, it's an awkward silence. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 10:03 p.m. on Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. Yeah, it's pretty hot right now, here in the UK, at the very least. Probably hot, you know, in most places in the northern hemisphere, and due to it being summertime, even probably some parts of the southern hemisphere, right? I don't know how, like, hot it gets in wintertime, or not. For like in Australia or something. Honestly, I never really thought about it. You know, I mean, it's not so much. I mean, like countries closer to the equator are warmer, and aren't they, of course? But also like El Nino, which is like the sort of like convections of heat, actually has like a very profound impact on how hot or cold an area is, right? But yeah, what should we talk about today? I was saying about Neopets. The saddest thing about Neopets is the fact that I missed one of the days for my quests. Oh man, someone accepted someone else's offer for the trading post. I'm just trying to buy a Wraith paintbrush on the trading post, and I really should have done it when I first saw offers going out on Neopets for the Wraith paintbrush at like less than 2 million, but now everyone's on 2 million, so it's just sort of like hot damn, you know. Before, like I saw it go down as low as like 1.5 million, but now it's just 2 million. I mean, I can hodl, I can wait. I did put an offer on someone who's selling it for 1.8 million, but then like they didn't go online for like 16 days, so I was just like, all right. they just never ended up accepting it. Let's see if anyone else is selling it for 1.8. Oh, someone is selling it for 1.8. Okay, well, why not then? We'll give them. This is like, you might be like, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing this during an Animal Crossing episode? And then I'll just be like, you new here? Of course, I play Neopets in the middle of actually No, I don't want to go to a nearby island. Punish for my mistakes. Of course I'll play Neopets while also playing Animal Crossing. Sorry, let's actually talk about something instead of doing this. It's getting too hot though. I can't like, even think about like how to speak or anything. Luigi's Mansion 2. The new League of Legends like event is being like teased and released as like some Vampire Survivors-esque game that they have during it, which is particularly interesting. I've never played Vampire Survivors or whatever. What's that genre called now? Vampire Survivors genre. It's not like a shooter. It's called like a roguelike shoot 'em up. Is that right? People came up with like a specific genre name for it. Reverse Bullet Heck. Oh no, Bullet Heaven. That's what it's called. Yeah. Because if you know Bullet Hell or Bullet Heck, I guess Bullet Heck would be like a toned down version of Bullet Hell. Games is like the Toho games is the ones I think about, like where you play like as just one character and there's like a million bullets you have to dodge. Which I did actually play some of the Toho games when I was younger. Toho, yes. As I was trying to think, it's like, is that the actual way you pronounce it or not? I'd assume so. Using my knowledge of Japanese, I don't actually know what it means. You might be like, which one did you play? I genuinely cannot like recall. I think it was like the second one or something. I played a lot of, and I also remember, funnily enough, I remember playing a My Little Pony Toho game as well. Like I have this vague memory for some reason. I still kind of remember how all the characters played in the My Little Pony one. Like, wow, actually, do I remember? I feel like Twilight was just like a very standard one. Applejack had like, you could spam it to fire a lot of apples, or you could hold it to charge up, and it would give you like a shield which you could release. What did Pinkie Pies do? I don't remember what Pinkie Pies. I think no. I remember Rarities was like a short range like Gatling gun almost, which you did like a huge amount of damage, but the range was tiny. And Fluttershy had this like massive range thing of like with spiral of butterflies. I genuinely don't remember what Pinkie Pie did. Rainbow Dash had like a laser or something. Oh, and don't they all have like supers or something? Hold on, does this still exist? Let's see. My Little Pony Toho. Yeah, I cannot remember what Pinkie Pie did. It does exist though. Oh, so someone uploaded a video of it. Oh, by playing as Pinkie Pie, this is a perfect time. So we can figure out exactly what is going on. Are we playing as Pinkie Pie? I don't know. Sparkly magic of a bouncing variety is what Twilight does. Can you see what? Can I even see what's going on? Maybe we're not playing as Pinkie Pie. Never playing as Pinkie Pie. So this is really important to no one but me. I have to see how she attacks. She throws cherries that explodes into cupcakes. Sure. Anyway, these Bullet Hell, Bullet Heaven sort of games. Not really something I play all that often. Like apart from the Toho games, I've not played any of Vampire Survivors or any of the Bullet Heaven, I suppose, games that came from it. You might be like, oh, do you not like the genre? I don't know. I do like a Bullet Hell genre, not like as. I guess to a certain extent, I like the mechanics of it. I think it's fun to dodge, but I don't like how punishing I suppose it can be, which I suppose is the irony of it. I'd rather just play a game which is not so punishing, which is maybe why like I've never really gotten around to playing like any of like the Souls like games or something. Again, I have played like Cuphead and all these other sort of things, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Did I finish getting S rank on all the bosses in Cuphead? I actually don't even recall anymore. Like, but did I? Maybe I did. I honestly can't remember. But yeah. Like, we spell it Heaven, like, it's a relatively new genre. It's always exciting when you see, like, a video game genre, I suppose, get invented. Because I feel like when it first comes out, you're like, oh, this game is just like, oh, it's like reverse Toho. Or it's like, oh, it's just like, not an auto battle, except where you can, like, move around and shoot. It's like a shoot 'em up sort of game. In new genres, you always, like, have a lot of comparisons to existing games, being like, oh, it's like this game cross this game, or something like that. Which is fair, like, obviously comparisons, like, it's kind of like your point of reference when you actually like go to describe anything. You start with a known. You don't just immediately start describing something via unknowns. Like, having points of reference is very useful. But then, like, at least me personally, like, when more of a like, genre starts coming out, it's like, what's the point where it goes from, oh, this game is like it's like a bullet hell shoot 'em up or something, and then does it switch over to like a new genre type of like, oh, this is a bullet heaven game. I don't know. I don't remember if it's like when does a pile become a pile or something. How long's a piece of string? I don't really know when that sort of switch over point is, but nonetheless, Bullet Hell games. I don't really play a lot of them. Like the last Bullet Hell game I think I can remember playing is on Neopets. There's a game called like Nova Defender, which is like my favorite Neopets minigame because it's kind of like it basically is a Bullet Hell sort of game. Is it like an amazing one? No, it's just like a fine one. But I enjoyed playing it. I don't know. I'm just like, I've never played Vampire Survivors, but people absolutely adore the game. They played a lot of it, and now it's coming to League of Legends with a new Anima Squad event. Prestige Yumi skin coming out. Am I going to get it? I'll certainly try. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not sure why in particular it doesn't appeal to me, which is weird. Because if anything, it's like one of the least punishing games. It's a very satisfying sort of genre. Like I've seen Northern Lion play a bit of it. I've not really played much of it, well, any of it myself, but and I've seen some friends play like similar sort of games. My friend is playing Brotato on holiday now. I think about it, which I guess is also a bit of heaven, which I also think predates Vampire Survivor. Yeah, it's because it's quite an old game. But yeah, it's like a very satisfying game. You like get all these synergies together as you know, walk around, and you just like it feels powerful, right? It's sort of like a power fantasy-esque game because it's one which very sort of readily gives it to you. You move about, you start off weak, and you start off like with a very sort of basic rudimentary way of defeating waves of enemies, but eventually like hordes of enemies becomes like overwhelming, but you have all these like cool mechanics which interact with each other, which like ends up, you know, wiping out like waves and waves and waves of enemies just like that, and you have like the dopamine hit of like brrr, as you pick up like all the currency or whatever, which is dropped on the ground. I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, is there any sort of like a bullet heaven-esque game which I played, and I generally cannot think of one. So you go to Vampire Survivors on Steam and you see similar games. It only costs £4. That's actually so cheap. No wonder it did so well. See, it's called Bullet Hell, but it, you know, Bullet Heaven. New genre is what people are calling it. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of last time I remember like a genre come to light. I guess MOBA, roguelikes. I sort of roguelikes. I don't remember the conception of that well, but MOBAs like vaguely do. I was like decently young, I suppose, when I started seeing like Dota appearing. Not that I like really played much of it, and then, you know, like Heroes of New Earth came out, and then like League of Legends came out, and then there was like a whole range of MOBAs where every game company in the world was trying to make their own MOBA. You know, Blizzard made Heroes of the Storm. There was that like DC one. I can't remember others. There's always these sort of flavour of a month ones which come and go. But I will say Bullet Heaven seems like a much more approachable one for most like game devs. Like MOBAs and Battle Royales, both like rather big in scope, I think, for video games. You know, MOBAs require like so many different like designs of characters, which is a lot of them creative investment and mechanical investment as well to actually like make all these different characters. And Battle Royales, I guess, because, you know, that's a lot to do with like netcode probably. Like connectivity of multiple players, making sure they all have like a synchronous game experience, and, you know, programming that I must imagine is quite difficult, especially if you're new to that sort of thing. But that's a very cool thing about Bullet Heavens, is if you are like a novice game creator, game designer, etc., you could probably just pick up like how to play, pick up how to design like a Bullet Heaven game. Like, I'm not gonna say relatively quickly, but surely. I've not really made many games in my life. Surely it's not that difficult compared to like a MOBA, right? You just got to figure out how to spawn enemies and how to defeat them. I guess the interesting parts come with weapons and how they sort of like interact with each other. But yeah, I can't really think of like any Bullet Heaven games I've actually played. Not many Bullet Hell games. Let's see. I randomly opened my bookmarks. Bullet Heaven games. Obviously Vampire Survivors the big one. Bullet Heaven fandom, Bullet Heavens, there's a subreddit for it, okay. Brotato, of course, another big one. Bullet Heaven Fest. What? I just want like a list of Bullet Heaven games or something. Just so I can have like something to pick from. I'm trying to think of what was that other one? It was like Before Dawn or something, right? Is that game? Before Dawn. I'm just trying to think of ones I've seen Northern Lion play. Really? Before Dawn? No, not Before Dawn. Bullet Heaven game. It's like something Dawn, isn't it? Dawn? It's not Until Dawn. That's about horror survival. 10 minutes till dawn. That's it. Also, not played that one, to be honest. A Bullet Heaven rhythm game is a very cool concept. I'm not gonna lie. Would I play it? I don't know, maybe. I mean, yeah, again, there's also a rhythm game roguelike, which I don't play, despite the fact I do like rhythm games quite a lot. I don't know, like, Bullet Heaven is just like an interesting genre to me, because it feels like, you know, people go in with like all these sort of like game ideas. Like, it's very fun to design games in your head. It's a lot harder to actually make a game, you know. But it's fun to be like, oh, imagine like this character does this. Like, this character plays around with using their health to attack or something, and then like their health is constantly draining, but as they attack, you know, they regen it or something, and then your abilities can cast using that. Maybe like their ultimate drops them to like 1 HP, but then they can't die for like 5 seconds. It's a sort of like a do or die situation. It's really fun to like come up with these character ideas in the first place, but then actually like creating it is not feasible, I think, for a lot of people. But, you know, come in the Bullet Heaven genre, it must be one of the most approachable genres to actually create a game for. What's going on in conversation here? It's a flower conversation. It's a very sweet one. What flower did you give this time? A hyacinth. Yellow hyacinth. I want to be more than friends, is that right? Yes, we absolutely ship Apollo and Amelia, of course. Sorry, what was I talking about? Yeah, but Heaven games. Like, surely it must be one of the most approachable genres. Because I feel like, at least back in my day, when I was younger, like when I used to go on much more online forums and people had like these ideas for games which I wanted to create, it was always an indie RPG, you know, like an RPG. And it wasn't quite in the heyday of Undertale, I guess. I guess it was more because of like Pokemon inspired or something. Like I remember I used to have like an online friend who was trying to create like, oh, it was back amusingly back in this other Animal Crossing community that I was a part of, which I don't know what's happened to them, and I hope they're doing well. But he was trying to make a game or something where like the people of that like community would be like boss characters or something, or bosses. And I remember I gave him an idea of like, oh, like I think he asked me, it's like, what would you want to be like if you were a boss? And I was like, okay, I would like to be like a fake out boss or something. As I say, it's fun to design a character where, you know, you fight me and then like I get defeated like super easily, and then people just go like, oh, was that it? And then like it explodes into phase 2 where it's just like multiple ensemble boss spawns, which with each character has like this different mechanic which like interact with each other based around like elements or something. He liked that idea. I was like, did he ever make that game? I don't think so. I wonder if I hold on. I wonder if I Google it, would it ever come up? I don't think so, but that would be crazy. So I remember that conversation. Only he was just like, oh yeah, that should be like one, not the final boss, but like one of the related. Oh my gosh, the YouTube channel is still. I'm not gonna say it because you can find it in your, well, you're not gonna find it in your own time, but it still exists. That's crazy. Like I vaguely remember these people. Well, I don't remember who this is. I remember this person. Never got around to making whatchamacallit? Never got around to making my boss battle, which is totally fair. but it's fun to think about. Like that's what I'm saying. But Heaven must be one of the more approachable ones. Well, is it even more approachable than like an RPG? I don't actually know, but maybe. Like I feel like one of the first things you learn to do is create a character. Like if you're using like a game engine, create a character, figure out how to move that character on the screen, and then second thing you do is create like an enemy character and how that moves. And then like getting like the hardest part I'd assume of it would be the optimization for like having a million characters on screen and having that not run at like a snail's pace. That's interesting to think about. It's cool when there's like approachable genres, I suppose, to make for games. People can kind of like do what you want, right? I'm gonna make a thumbnail art for this right now. Not the official thumbnail. I really should like get on it because I've only got like 1 weekend left, but still until Art Fight starts. But I don't know what this is anymore. I'm doing like caveman drawings now. People are gonna look at this and be like, what the heck is this thumbnail art? I don't even know what to do as a little doodle for D now. If I'm late with the thumbnail art next year as well, it's gonna be an absolute mess. Also, anyone see when you make some noise episode on Dropout? Top quality stuff. I was positively laughing throughout the entire thing. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here. I'm going to go record some cameo or something. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now. Oh, I forgot my mouse is at like 2 miles an hour.